Welcome to this presentation on derivatives. So you're going to understand about two prominent instruments which come under the derivatives, that is forwards and futures and options. Now when we say derivatives, basically there are four types of instruments, that is forward, futures, options and swaps. Now, let's once you understand the concept of forwards, futures, and options, the same concept can also be applied in different asset classes. Like we have financial market, financial derivatives, which consists of equity futures, equity options. Like then you have real estate forward contracts, foreign exchange. You have both forwards as well as futures, and then you have commodity futures contract, and then also in India they have introduced interest rate futures contract, and then also the same concept can be applied for trading in index futures like Nifty futures or a bank Nifty futures. So understanding the concept of future and option will help you to explore various asset classes, either from a speculator's point of view or from a hedging point of view. Now, when we talk about what a forward is the oldest derivative contract. Now, if you look into the definition of a forward is an agreement between two players. One would be a buyer and another one would be a seller. So buyer and a seller would meet, and where the buyer would agree to buy the asset on a future date at a agreed price today. Now this is called as forward contract. Like this, you also have something called as a cash market or a spot market, where again the buyer and seller can meet, and then they can make a deal to buy the asset, and the price is also been fixed at that point of time. But the only difference is that in the spot market or a cash market, the settlement needs to happen within 2 days. So if you want to buy wheat, the first option for you would be to go to a spot market like Food World, More Retail or a Reliance Retail, and there you make a deal with the shopkeeper saying that you're going to take 10 kgs of a wheat at a price of 350 rupees. And once you hand over the payment to him, within next 24 or a 48 hours, he will come and deliver the wheat, or you can also carry the wheat from the counter. So basically, this is basically called as a cash market. In context to the cash market, we have something called as a forward contracts, where two parties who meet and they agree to buy a wheat and then basically sell wheat on at a particular price on or before a expire maturity date. So here the one who will be producing the wheat is called as a farmer, and the one who will be consuming the wheat will be like industries like Britannia or Brisk Farm or a Parle-G or any confectionery business which requires wheat. Now both of them enter into a contract, and there if you see both of them make an agreement where the farmer agrees to sell the wheat and Britannia agrees to buy the wheat. They have decided the price as 15 rupees per kg, and the settlement of this contract would happen on 30th December, assuming that on June 1st they meet and they agree to exchange the commodity on 30th December. So this would be called as a 6 months forward contract. Now you need to understand why a forward contract is required. Now Britannia, which forecasts its biscuit sales, will also know how much raw material is required for them. So there they would have a fear that what if the wheat is not available when they want to go for the production. Meanwhile, the farmer will have a fear that what if the wheat price decrease because of the lockdown of because of this current corona issue. there is a lockdown throughout the country. As a result, the consumption of the wheat may come down. So the farmer has a fear that what if the wheat price comes down? And Britannia has a fear that what if the wheat price goes up because of excess hoarding? So because of this fear, both of them make a contract to exchange the commodity on a future date. And if they are bilaterally doing this contract, we call it as a forward contract. Now, there comes a question, what if the wheat price goes up to 25 rupees? Currently, the wheat price is around 15 rupees, so they made an agreement to exchange the wheat at 15. But in the month of December, if the wheat price goes up to 25 rupees, Britannia will have a concern that what if the farmer doesn't deliver the wheat? Because Britannia would end up losing around 10 rupees per kg, and they made a deal here for 10,000 kg, so their loss would be around 1 lakh. So they will ask the farmer to give some kind of a collateral. It can be like a property papers, or he can get a surety from the bank that if he doesn't deliver the wheat, the bank would be delivering the wheat to the Britannia. So this kind of an agreement, when they do it, and there is a third party who gives guarantee on behalf of the farmer to the Britannia for the delivery of the goods at whatever the agreed price, we call it as a futures contract. The difference here is that in a forward contract, it is done on over the counter. There is no collateral which is exchanged. It is done on a trust basis. Now, so in the forwards market, there are three types of participants. One is called as a hedger, and another one is called as a speculator, and the third participant is called arbitrager. Now here the farmer is trying to eliminate the price risk. That is, even if the wheat price goes to 10 rupees, he doesn't have to worry because Britannia has promised to buy from him at 15, so his risk is taken care. Same thing, Britannia doesn't have to worry about the supply of the wheat in the month of December because either the exchange through whom they have done the deal through, or the farmer who has given the collateral will help them to get the wheat, what irrespective whatever the price it is there in the month of December. But the hedgers play only 99% only 1% role in the market, whereas 99% of the trades which are done in the market are speculators. So what exactly is a speculator? Speculator is an institution or an individual who analyzes the price behavior and tries to predict the price of the asset on a future date. So if you are a speculator, you will look into the weather condition in India, the sowing pattern, international consumption pattern, and then when you're confident that wheat prices will go up, before the Britannia makes a deal with the farmer, you go to the farmer and make a deal saying that you want to buy the wheat from the farmer at 15 rupees, or in case if you want to outbid the Britannia, you will offer farmer 16 rupees per kg. So obviously the farmer would be interested to give you the wheat instead of Britannia because he's getting 16 rupees there, and in the month of December he will be bound to give you wheat at 16. And that time, if the wheat price in more retail or a food world goes up to 23 or a 24 rupees, you can go and sell there at 24. You are getting wheat from farmer at 15 rupees, so as a result 16 rupees, you make a profit of 8 rupees per kilo, and that translates into 80,000. Now this is basically called as a forward contract. Now you also saw there is one more participant by name arbitrageurs. Now these are entities which have got a lot of capital, and there are companies who want to guarantee that the wheat will be delivered irrespective of the market price in the month of December or January, huge quantity. So what a company like JPMC would do is that they will first make a deal with the farmer to buy wheat from him at 16 rupees per kilo, or they may go to spot market, buy the wheat at prevailing rate of 13 rupees or 14 rupees, and later on in the month of December, when Britannia requires the wheat, they will sell it to them at 20 rupees. Here, in case of an arbitrage, you buy the physical commodity, like I'm simultaneously buy the wheat in the spot market at a price of, let's say, 14 rupees. Because if I go to Food World and say that I want immediate delivery of wheat, they will tell that okay, we'll give you a discount of 2 rupees, and they basically give me wheat at 14 rupees. I buy all the wheat, put it in a warehouse, uh, and then I make a deal with Britannia that look, I'll give you wheat in the month of December at 17. So I simultaneously have done two transactions. One, I've gone to the spot market, acquired the wheat at 14, 13 to 14 rupees, and simultaneously I sold it to Britannia at 17 rupees. The difference of 3 rupees is my profit. Now this is basically called as arbitrage. Now let's look into some of the terminologies which are very frequently used. Now futures are basically a derivative contract to buy or sell a specified quantity of the underlying asset on or before the expiry date, and these contracts are basically traded in exchanges like NSE, BSE, MCX, and where basically the exchange takes the responsibility of the counterparty risk. So here you will have two types of position. One is called as a long position and another one is called as a short position. Now let us understand this short position in detail. Okay. Now let's assume the gold price for 10 grams is 39,000. The cost of 10-gram gold contract as on 15th April is 39,000. Now I do the analysis on the gold price, and I expect the gold price to come to 34,000 when by 3rd June 2020. This is based on my analysis. I may use astrology, numerology, technical analysis, or macroeconomical analysis, or quantitative techniques, any kind of an strategy I can adopt. And I am expecting the gold price to come down by 10 grams gold price to 34,000. So here, since I'm expecting the gold price to come down, I go and make a deal that short. That is, I agreed to sell the gold at 39,000, but with one condition that I will be giving the delivery of the gold on or before 5th June 2020. That means I'm going to deliver the gold on deliver the gold on 5th June 2020, because my anticipation is that the gold price may come down to 34,000 by 3rd June. So I go and short sell. Now comes a question, who would buy from me? That is, who would take a long position? Now let us assume there is an investor by name Ram who wants to donate 10 gram of gold to a temple, and he feels that gold price may go up to 45,000. So what is the anticipation of Ram? He's expecting the gold price to go up by 3rd June to 45,000. So Ram is expecting the gold price to okay, so he's basically expecting the gold price to, his view is increase, price increase, or what we call bullish. So Ram's view here is that the price will increase, whereas I'm expecting the gold price to decline. So my view is bearish. So he expects the gold price to go to 45,000. I expect the gold price to come down to 34,000. So like this, both of us have a different view. So on 15th April, I make a deal that I will deliver 39,000 of gold, sorry, 10 gram of gold to Ram at a price of 39,000. Now my calculation happens to be true, matlab, my prediction turns out to be true. As a result, I can buy the gold here, buy gold in spot market at 34,000 and give it to Ram at 39,000. So I buy here at 34,000, give it to Ram at 39,000. So I make a profit of 5,000 rupees. So this is an example of short selling. Now without having the gold, I can sell it to him with a promise to deliver it on 5th June. Now if I don't deliver, there will be another entity who will give guarantee on my behalf. That can be exchange like MCX India. Okay, now let us understand, what if the gold price goes up to 45,000? Then yes, I will have to buy the gold here. In the second scenario, in case if the gold price instead of declining increases, then I will have to buy gold at 45,000, and then give it to him at 39,000. So already I sold at 39,000, so I have to buy it at 45,000. Always remember, profit is equal to sell minus buy. Profit equals to sell minus buy. So here I am having 6,000 rupees loss. So like this, people try to speculate on the gold price, and they take a long or a short position. Now let us look into a Nifty chart here. So if I look into the Nifty, it came down to 8,440. Then the price again started going up to 10,000. Again it came down to 8,470. People were not very much interested. The prices started going down. Again the price moved up, came down. Again it has broke. At this particular point of this place, we call it as a support. We are expecting the gold price to go up from sorry, the Nifty prices to go up. So I should go for a long or a short? Yes, the correct answer is I should take a long position. So I go to an exchange like NSE. I select Nifty. Nifty is an index which currently is trading around 8,668 on 27th March. And I have to buy a minimum quantity of 75 shares. We call this as market lot. And I make a deal with the counterparty that I'm willing to take Nifty from him. That means if any point of time, if he wants to come and give me Nifty, for every 1 unit, I'm willing to pay 8,668. So instead of taking gold, like I'm playing the role of Ram here, who wanted to take gold at 39,000 because he was expecting the price to go up. So here my intention is that the Nifty price would go up from 8,668. It may go up to 9,200 levels. So I make a deal with him that I'm going to take Nifty from him at 8,668 on or before there is an expiry date called as 30th April. I can take this quantity of commodity from him or the shares from him on or before the expiry date. So here, after I entered a deal with him, today if we look at Nifty, now let us look into the Nifty price here. Now if I want to go and sell Nifty to him, so I can people like I can go and sell it to him. Like there I was buying. So I had bought from him at 8,660. Now if I want to sell it to someone else in the market, people are willing to pay for me at 8,945. It's something like you book a car on OLX for around 3.5 lakhs. The counterparty says that is going to give the delivery of the car in the month of May. On the 1st of April, you make a deal to buy the car at 3,50,000, and then he is promised to give you on 30th May at 3,50,000. But in between, on 26th of April, someone says they are willing to buy the car from you at 3,90,000. You can sell the car to them at 3,90,000 with the condition that instead of you delivering the car, the original seller would deliver the car to them at 3,50,000, and they will have to transfer the 40,000 to you. The same concept even applies in the stock market, that if you make a deal to buy an asset, you don't have to wait till the expiry date to sell it. In between, if the price increases, you can sell it. In case if the price decreases, you can book loss and come out. So futures is an instrument where people use to speculate if the prices would go up or if the price would come down. Whenever they're confident price would go up, they would go long, and whenever they're expecting the price to come down, they would go short. Now let us look into some more example with regard to the futures. So here we have HDFC Life. So when we look at the chart, From 550, it came down to 440, went up, again came down, came down, came down. It came down to 440. Now, if this line gets broken, if the share price goes below the line, there is a high probability that HDFC Life may come down to 350. So now comes the question, should I take a long position or should I take a short position? So obviously, I should take a short position. So I select HDFC Life, click on the sell button here. Like on the top, you have this plus button and a minus button. Plus button means you're going long, minus button means you're going short. So I select it, I make a deal that I'm going to give him HDFC Life 900 quantity shares at a price of 437, and then I click on the submit button. Now comes a question, what is the guarantee that I will give him the shares at 437 rupees on 26th or 30th of April? So here what exchange like NSE would do is that they will ask me to deposit some collateral, that is cash collateral. They will ask me to deposit some money, what we call it as a margin money, which has to be deposited by this buyer and seller prior any transaction.